Hey guys, JV here, and today on this eve of the launch of For Honor, I wanted to take a moment to share my excitement for the game. I can't remember the last time I was this excited for the launch of a video game. I mean, sure, For Honor was on my radar for 2017. There are so many great games coming out this year, especially in the first half. It was a game I got to play at E3 last year, and it definitely showed promise. I enjoyed what I played, but what really tipped me over the edge was this open beta. It really gave me a true taste of the game and what it's going to be like when it actually comes out. It also showed me that Ubisoft created a melee combat game with multiplayer, which is unique in and of itself, with enough replay value and progression to keep me invested for the long haul. Suffice it to say, I can't wait to sink my teeth into this game and play for months and months on end. I mean, into 2017, there are not a lot of games that come out after March. I can see myself returning to this game, especially when they add new content, and playing it throughout this year. So for the rest of the video, I'm going to touch on a few things that make me really excited to actually jump into the full game. And the first thing is the campaign, and I think most people probably don't realize that there is a single player campaign in this game. Ubisoft claims that it's a full story campaign cinematic adventure, a full-fledged experience where if you want to pay $60 and just play the single player, not even touch online at all, then it's worth that price. I haven't played it, I haven't seen it, I can't, follow up on that and say that's absolutely fact, but it does make me excited that they're coming out and saying that. Apparently you're going to play as the Warden with the Knights, and then you're going to switch over to the Raider with the Vikings, and then to the Orochi with the Samurai. In the campaign, we'll play through 3 different regions. Of course, the Knights have their own region, the Vikings and the Samurai do. As we know, this is kind of a faction war. They're all fighting against each other for control over something, and there's one overarching enemy in Apollyon, I believe that's how you pronounce that, and so that's going to be interesting. I don't know much more about this campaign. I kind of don't want to watch any trailers. I want to get a fresh experience. But for me, what I'm hoping to get out of this campaign is an introduction to heroes. I have played, I think, 5 out of the 9 heroes that are currently available in the game, and so that's a significant chunk. But then again, I haven't even touched these other heroes, but I've faced them in multiplayer. So for me, I'm hoping to get out of this campaign an introduction to new heroes, how to fight them, and really kind of set me up for multiplayer. But that's just me, because apparently this is supposed to be a full-fledged experience that you'd want to pay $60 for. So it's just an extra thing, and I'm going to be let's playing the entire campaign on my channel, so you guys can expect 30-minute to an hour-long episodes with me in the corner on webcam, just playing through this campaign and experiencing it for the first time with you all. The next reason I'm really hyped about the game is the replay value. There are 12 heroes in the full game. 3 of them were not in the beta. So we have yet to, the general public has yet to see the Lawbringer, Shoguki, and the Valkyrie in each of those respective factions. There has been gameplay. I believe there was an event in Paris where some YouTubers and prominent, Twitch personalities got to go record gameplay and share that. But that's pretty much it. I don't think there's any Valkyrie gameplay just out in the wild that Ubisoft, or that someone else besides Ubisoft has released. So that's going to be kind of a fresh thing for people just jumping into the game that haven't really looked into the other classes. If you were someone that played any of the betas, you probably already know this, but each hero has their own level progression from level 1 to level 20 that's tied specifically to that hero. So if you swap out heroes, you have to level them up individually, and as you're going through that progression, you'll unlock new abilities called feats in that first prestige. However, with each individual hero, there are 10 prestiges, and as you go beyond that first prestige, the things you unlock are colors and just cosmetic things that don't really, change the way your hero feels, but you'll also unlock better gear, which will make your hero have better attack, defense, and other little stats. Personally, for me, I experienced 2 kind of ways of leveling up. First off was the Viking Raider. It took me 10 hours of playtime in the beta to get to level 15, which isn't a full prestige, but I almost got there 75% of the way. 10 hours is how long it took me. However, I hopped on the Kensei the very next day. It only took me 5 hours to get to level 15, and that's because I utilized all of my contracts, tried to double them up and level up as quickly as possible, so that really didn't take me long. So if we go by that metric, I guess, probably average, I think Ubisoft said it's going to be 8 to 12 hours to complete a prestige with one hero. That's a lot of playtime. If you start stacking those up, if you truly want to take one hero and level them up all the way, or level up a group of heroes all the way, that is a ton of playtime. There's going to be a lot of replay value for people that truly love this game and appreciate it. And I think Ubisoft has set the stage very well long-term for this game. I think they see what games like Overwatch are doing with their events and heroes and free content coming out that you get bundled into that $60 purchase. There needs to be compelling content long-term for the game to stay alive, for there to be a healthy amount of players online at any time so you don't have problems with matchmaking, and also so people feel like, okay, this is a fun, cool thing that people are doing. I feel like I'm involved in a community and all of those things. Speaking of which, we already know what's going to be in the DLC Season Pass. They're going to add 6 new heroes post-launch. That's something that I just learned today after looking it up. And if you do have the Season Pass, you're going to get those heroes a week before anyone else. But if you don't have a Season Pass, you'll still be able to unlock these new heroes through the game just like normal. You'll have to pay the amount of steel, I think it's 500, to recruit the new heroes. So this is essentially free heroes, just if you go ahead and get the Season Pass, you'll get it a week early. I think that's such a great way to go about things because you're not locking out content for players. You're not saying here's a $40 wall, and if your friend wants to play this hero, you can't play them as well because you didn't buy the Season Pass. And I think this is something that, developers like Bungie need to learn with Destiny 2, especially don't release these huge content packs and separate players. Do some kind of time-based exclusive thing for your Season Pass where, okay, you can play this new content for a certain amount of time, but after a certain amount of time, everyone can play it and you can work towards it if you don't want to shell out money for a Season Pass. So if I'm understanding these numbers correctly, there's going to be 12 heroes on launch and then 6 new heroes after that. That's 18 heroes. I don't know if they're adding a new faction or if these are just extensions of the existing factions. That's probably what it's going to be, but that is a lot of heroes to play through. And we already talked about the progression and the prestiges and all the cosmetic stuff that you can unlock. There's going to be plenty to do in this game. Additionally, they promised more maps, modes, and gear coming as free DLC, so I don't know if that stuff is going to be time exclusive. It doesn't sound like it if they're advertising that as free DLC. So, essentially, we've talked about all this DLC and content that's coming to the game. This is essentially everything I'd like to see post-launch from a game that wants to have a long-term player base. If I'm a big fan of For Honor, I want to see more maps, more heroes, more modes, and more gear as the game progresses in order to have that long-term player base. I've also just read that they're going to release the new heroes as Faction War seasons progress. So apparently there's going to be 3 Faction War seasons, and when these seasons launch, they're going to release 2 new heroes per season. So that is kind of interesting because if you think about it, if they're keeping with these factions, there's 3 factions, and if they're only releasing 2 heroes per season, that means one of the factions is not going to get a new hero. So I'm interested to see how that thing shakes out. Hopefully they are handling it in a way that makes sense. I'd really love to see these seasons and new heroes and new content released within the first 6 months of the game, because I feel like if developers wait too long, if publishers wait too long, people lose interest. A lot of new great games come out constantly, and if For Honor is going to release this new content within 6 months, it's February releasing right now, that's going to be February to August, new content constantly coming out. And there's not a lot of games coming out between February or after March, but February to August is usually not the biggest time for games. It's usually fall. So I feel like if they do this the right way, they're going to be able to keep up the excitement for this game, keep people playing. So anyways, guys, that's it for this commentary. Once again, I am just so super excited for For Honor, and I think a reason I'm so excited for it is it came out of nowhere for me. I wasn't expected to be this excited about the game, but after playing the beta, after learning what their post-launch plans are, I'm in it for the long haul. I really am. I want to play this game long-term, and I hope it keeps my interest long-term into 2017. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Are you excited for For Honor like I am? And if you are, let me know why. Do you share some of the reasons that I do, or are you on the other side of the fence? Is For Honor a game that you weren't impressed by in the beta? I know I tweeted about it and someone responded and said they deleted it after the first day. Some people have said they're being frustrated by the game as well. I think that can happen with any multiplayer game, especially ones where you can chop your opponent's heads off. I mean, it really is an adversarial game where you can get frustrated very easily, but I sincerely believe from what I play that there is a progression to it. There's a learning curve, and if you put the time and effort into it, you can certainly learn how to play heroes, counter others, and find more success. You can improve in this game from what I've seen. Once again, please share your thoughts in the comment section below. I do want to let you guys know before we wrap up the video that I have a lot of content planned for this game. First off, I'm going to do a single player Let's Play, and you can expect the first episode of that on the launch day tomorrow. I'm going to do a lot of hero guides. I'm going to start out with some moveset guides to really work through each of the movesets and how you're supposed to use them. Some basics guides as well. And then as I get more experience, I'll go into more of the advanced stuff. I'm also going to do a lot of streams of For Honor all next week. I'm going to have streams on Tuesday, the launch day, tomorrow, Wednesday, I'm off Thursday, and then Friday as well. We'll have For Honor for 3 to 4 hours at a time. That's going to be really fun. And then I'm going to plan some sub streams in the future. A lot of you have asked me, hey, I want a 1v1 UJV. Let's do that. And that's something I want to plan ahead of time so you guys can plan to be there and I can play as much of you as possible. So anyways, guys, gonna post so much For Honor. I am so excited for the game. Hope you guys are as well. If you enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. And also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already for more For Honor content and other games coming in 2017. I'm so excited. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.